You're watching continuing live coverage of the aftermath of a devastating tornado that tore through southern Joplin late this afternoon and this evening. It tore through from west to east, somewhere south of 20th Street, and left a massive path of destruction along the way. One of the people who's been out shooting some of that video is Crystal Albright. Crystal, we're going to show some of your video, and as we do this, you might narrate a bit and tell us where you were.
I had to get that shot. It was just, I mean, there's everything's everywhere.
It tells a lot just about.
And then you see the people just going through. I mean, there were people that were still trying to find people, that were trying to find their loved ones, and there were lots of traffic of people trying to get in and find their families, and a lot of people.
Give us a sense. Where were you when this video was taken? Do you remember exactly where this is?
That is the apartments. I guess it would be
Hampshire Terrace. They're telling us. Is that right?
Yes.
Hampshire Terrace.
Yes.
Okay.
Over by Dillon's.
Yeah. People trying to pick through the rubble, I suppose, and pick out maybe some clothes and a few necessities that they're obviously going to need.
There were people still looking for people in those apartment buildings.
Did you get a sense of panic and despair, or was it people going about their job methodically, calmly?
A lot of shock, a lot of disbelief, and then I think as time went on and trying to communicate and get a hold of their loved ones, it just became a let's just look. We can't wait for anybody else. We have to do it on our own.
Right. Now, see, we're driving along, just driving on 20th Street here?
That is, I think that's 15th Street.
Okay, okay.
And then you could just see all the debris. It's everywhere.
That
the
shows
debris
you how
is
wide
everywhere.
that
And
tornado
this
was.
would actually be well north, we believe, of the tornado path.
Right. That's kind of like what we were showing you on the tower cam. We were still seeing debris at 7th and Rangeline. So...
Okay. Yeah, we'll just continue this video for just a bit longer. We're going by Yates trackside, and yeah, it's devastating scenes and heartbreaking scenes. Certainly to see it at home, and I can't imagine how it must feel for those people who live in those neighborhoods, operating those businesses.
Dillon's,
yeah. Not much left.
No,
clearly.
no. And when I went to pull onto that street, I knew I should know where I was at, but I didn't know until I actually seen Dillon's, where I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, it must be disorienting because landmarks that we associate with different points in town just aren't there.
They're gone.
Now, when we saw this video earlier, we went across here, I look at this field of debris and these broken bits of trees. I think there must have been buildings here at one time.
Yeah, I believe Charles Burt. Wait, is that
the realty company?
Is like right around, like real close. It was right near there, and then I believe the high school is just.
Well, this gives us some sense of scale, although I don't know until we get aerial shots exactly if we're going to be able to appreciate it. But this really shows the extent, the width of apparently this path of destruction.
And the video never gives it justice of exactly the emotion and the energy and actually seeing it for your own eyes of what how devastating it really is.
When you look at those trees, it looks like what you might see after Hurricane Katrina or a bomb of some sort. I mean, there just isn't anything left of a building, of a structure, of foliage. It is just all gone. That perhaps was some sort of living quarters. Is that an apartment?
Right, those are the apartments, double, two-story.
Okay. Boy, you have to think, well, that's all right. Well, can we let this video go? Yeah. You have to think if anybody was up in that second floor of that building, things could not have turned out well for them. And if they were in the second, even on the ground floor.
Windows were blown out. I mean, just blown out all over the place, not just there. You just kind of walk around, or while driving around, just buildings, the windows were busted out, blown out.
Yeah. You see some people walking around, and I know some, of course, will be looking for loved ones or trying to get some help for them, but the extent of the devastation is so wide